Happy Sunday. It is a yucky, cloudy day out, and it's been a good day to be a little under the weather like I've been, and just a good day to lay in bed and do homework. So here we are, chapters 4 and 5 of Best Practices. And the first chapter 4 was about writing, and chapter 5 was about math. And it was really interesting to think about comparing the two because that's not something we typically compare. So I came up with 3 different areas that I really saw some connections that you can make for teaching writing and for teaching math. So the first one is it's really important in writing and in math to provide real world connections. So when you're teaching writing, making it purposeful, maybe making it meaningful, so the purpose behind writing would be maybe to write letters to senators if they felt strongly about something, or letters to families, or to tell a funny story, to retell a story, to, of something that's happened in their life, a memory. So just making that a real world, real life connection in writing. And I think that happens a lot easier in writing than it sometimes does in math. But again, it's just as important to relay those math concepts back to how they're going to use it in the real world. And I liked the example in the book that talked about the teacher who gave the students $10, and then they were supposed to come up with all the different ways they could spend the $10 on chocolate and wanted to come up with the most variety of chocolate. That really would have connected with me as a child and even as an adult. So that would be a way to make math real for students and to bring in the real world connection. And again, like I said, I think it's easier in writing. It's a little bit more difficult, more of a challenge in math in some of those higher concepts, but it's definitely necessary because there was a lot of things looking back in my career as a math student that I don't understand why I was taught those things, and I'm definitely not using them today. And maybe if I would have had more of a deeper understanding of how I would have used them today, I might realize I'm using them and I don't even know. So anyway, I think that's just really, really important. The next area that I kind of honed in on was modeling. And I think it's really important for a teacher to model through the writing process with students. So to be doing that so that they can see their thinking aloud. So students can see the way the teacher's thinking and how they develop their concepts and their ideas. Same thing in math, letting the students hear, again, the teacher's thinking and how they're getting to that. So modeling is definitely very, very important, very, very much key to learning. And then the last thing that I picked up on the connection between writing and math was teaching concepts through the larger concepts. So, for example, in math, you can start out even in the primary grades with a simple story problem, and then you can be teaching addition and subtraction through that story problem. So you're kind of breaking down the story problem and teaching those simpler concepts. And I think that's really key too, because again, it kind of goes back to that real world connections. It's teaching math through that story problem, and those concepts is going to give them a deeper understanding of the why. So using that KWC chart that the book talked about, is going to give them deeper thought processes through those math concepts. And then again, same thing can be used in writing and teaching the grammar, which is kind of how I always did it. Unfortunately, there's not enough time in the day to departmentalize all of those things. So if you're teaching, again, at the primary grades, you could be teaching punctuation. So you're showing them as you're writing together, you're showing them, I need a capital letter at the beginning of a sentence and telling them why. Okay, I've come to the end of a sentence. This is a complete sentence because there's a subject and there's a predicate. Well, now I need a period. That's a natural place where I pause. So again, that's where I'm going to put a period. So teaching those concepts through the larger concept is another area that I thought was really interesting and a great idea. So that's all for now. Y'all have a wonderful Sunday. Bye-bye.